Come back here.
Sees everyone listening. He's like,
Howdy. Are you having fun?
No, well, they're not. It looks a lot better to steak and baked potatoes now, instead of just go for mashed potatoes.
Ouais, je pense qu'on est dans...
Could go for a snack right now.
L'amiral, c'est pour l'amiral. Pour l'amiral ici. Fait que c'est quartier. Ouais.
Try and visualize what it was like early that morning as missiles started to fly, as airplanes started to turn up on the flight deck, and we launched the attack that ultimately defeated Saddam Hussein and drove Iraqi forces out of Kuwait. Greetings and welcome aboard. My name is Rear Admiral Dan March. I'm retired from the Navy now. The USS Midway was my flagship from August 1990 to November 1990. The room that you're standing in right now is the room that we call the war room. It's here.
So they could cover the whole freaking bar with the plane. The ships and that, they probably have radar, land and sea radar that probably about like 25 to 50 miles maximum. You can't, it doesn't go around the curve. So they got the towers up high, but even if you got a tower at the same
Just one comment. Clearly, I've never been there, but this feels like we're in the center of hell. There begin to be these flashes of light off in the distance to the south. Peter, I have really
You think the horizon is straight instead of curved. Where are you folks from? There's quite a few people from Washington and Oregon. Now Yakima, is that east of the mountains?
Yeah, east of the Cascades.
Okay, what is the place that has the apples? Lots of apples, okay. I was drafted in the Army in 1968, and we rode the Great Northern Railway out, and we got going through a part of Washington, and it was, well, in the middle of April, there were all sorts of apple blossoms on it, and it just smelled like heaven. It was really good.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at here? These are radars?
Yeah, these, and they tell you there's a guide on the bottom there. The ones that have rounded, they're friendly ships.
Okay, so they give out a signal that says, "Hey, we're friendly," or
Well, they've already have them identified.
Yeah.
If they're unknown, they got a square around them. If they're a surface ship, there's a square all the way around them. If they're friends, there's a circle all the way around them.
yeah.
If they're subsurface, there's just a curve underneath them. But this here is their deal. If they're hostile, they got a diamond around them.
So how do we determine who's the friends and who's the foes?
By talking to them over there.
Oh yeah.
If they don't identify themselves, then they're probably going to send some jets out to go talk to them or another ship.
Okay.
But and what happened? This kind of is this screen here is kind of an outline of everything that's going on in all these. But this is an early warning aircraft that it can fly up there. Just kind of flies around the circle there, but it has like a 250-mile radius around it. So,
Yeah, is that called an AWACS?
they just called it an early warning aircraft, but I
It's
think
the
it's
one with the satellite dome type
yeah, the
thing.
one with the satellite
Okay.
dome right outside the island here.
Yeah, yeah.
And well, you can kind of see it. That's what. But because the normal ship, as soon as you get on a water-based radar, they can only go as far as. That's why even with a 100-foot tower on the ship, you can only go about 25 miles out, and you can't see anymore because it's curved around.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I never
But
thought of that.
all this information comes in, and then it's assembled and reassembled, and it's sent back out to tell people in what area on a need-to-know basis. But the admiral has to know how it works. With the plane up in the air, they can cover the whole Persian Gulf.
Okay.
They might have two planes up. They might have one 100 miles north and 100 miles south. So they so they wanted the whole Gulf covered. Because they still was suspecting that Russia might get involved in this too, but they never did.
Gulf War?
In the Gulf War, but they
Really?
never did. Yeah.
Okay. But a lot of those bad guys, the Iraqis were flying Russian planes, I think.
Right, they
So-
were. So
So yeah, we never for sure knew until.
yeah, and we didn't know for sure if Russia would get involved until after we went in. But.
Yeah, but that was right after the Soviet Union fell, right? So
Right.
yeah.
Well, see, Russia had overextended itself in Afghanistan and got its butt kicked over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they knew that they would be in trouble if they tried coming in and bothering us.
Right. So what else happened in this room? What else can you tell me about?
Well, basically, there was about a dozen people sitting there. Almost wherever you see a chair, there was somebody sitting, and their job was to assemble this information and get it out to the powers to be, the admiral and the general, and assimilate it.
So these
Okay,
guys are
now
just
let
looking
your
at
brother try.
maps of air flights, or what are they looking
Well,
at?
that just shows what's happening up on the flight now. It shows takeoffs and landings. It shows where we need to and how long we're going.
Yeah.
No choice but to drive,
So
the way
the powers to be know how many planes are out and what they're going to do. So they want to put it in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the biggest manager. The admiral is managing the whole war. The admiral is managing the Navy, the general is managing the Army.
Yeah, I see this. That's the Persian Gulf, and I see there's the Roosevelt.
Let's go.
And what else is in there?
Roosevelt, Ranger, and I got a good memory, but it's so short.
Blue Ridge, LaSalle, I think. Missouri. I don't know.
The Ranger, the Roosevelt, the
Yeah.
Midway, what did I just say?
No, that's all right. Okay, I was just wondering. So that's a diagram of the Persian Gulf
Right.
with all the
And
all
there
of our
was-
fleet that's out there right now.
Right, and when the war started, there were 3 aircraft carriers, but a 4th one would come in.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not
Okay.
quite sure which one. I think it might have been the Lynn. See, here, in this 3 aircraft carriers,
Yeah.
The one that's parked across the bay now, 71, the Roosevelt, that's a Teddy Roosevelt. There was a sister ship to the Midway that was a Roosevelt too, but that was a Franklin Roosevelt. That was number 43.
Okay.
Midway's 42, Coral Sea is 40. Midway is 41, the Coral Sea was 42, and the Franklin Roosevelt was 43. That was the only 3 ships built like this.
Oh yeah, I thought there was only one. Okay, but this
No,
is the
there-
only one that got the converted flight deck, right?
No, they all
did.
They all ended up with converted flight decks, but the other 2 were both scrapped before this one. This was the longest serving one of the 3.
Gotcha.
This was the first one to be out, and it was the first one. This was forward stationed in Yokosuka, Japan,
Really?
for between 17 and 18 years. If you go on the island tour up in the map room, you see a map of Yokosuka, Japan.
Yeah, I did see that actually. Yeah, with the
and
black line.
that's in Tokyo Harbor, and I always tell people that's where the Midway was forward stationed between, I think it was like 17 years and 7 months or something. But we just say between 17 and 18 years, you know, because we only have a few minutes to talk in each section, so you don't want to get too detailed or you can't tell people anything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And same way in here, we don't get too detailed in here, especially if, you know, today we're probably going to have about 5,000 people on the ship, but if you get like 12,000 people in one day on the ship, you got to keep people moving or you end up with a traffic jam.
'Cause I'm sure you were in the service, right? I'm sure you
I
have
was
all,
in the
all
service.
kinds of stories. And,
Right,
okay.
right. You know,
You were on what?
I was in the Army, so I was
Army.
never on a ship. But
Oh,
my
okay.
youngest daughter married a guy from San Diego. But I have a uncle and my mom's brother who was on the Hornet during
The original one or the?
the only Hornet that was an aircraft carrier.
Because I thought there were 2 Hornets. The first one was sunk. No.
Yeah, the first one was sunk. This was the second one, but he was
Okay,
on
the
during.
second one, yeah.
He wasn't on during World War II. He was on during the Korean conflict.
Oh, gotcha.
And he was 97. I was talking to him, and well, there's a joke in the family. All of us Army guys call the guys in the Navy swabbies, and the Navy guys call us Army guys grunts. And anyway, he was 97, and we had about an hour and a half talk on it last summer. He's still got good mind, you know, but he's slowing down, you know.
Yeah.
He's on oxygen because, well, some people call it farmer's lung, you know, but with a lot of the dust and that,
Yeah.
he has to be on oxygen all the time. And I think that he smoked when he was younger, so that probably didn't help him out.
Yeah.
But anyway, after we got done talking about it, he says, you know more about an aircraft carrier than I ever did. But the people that served on it, they only knew where they worked, where they ate, and where they bunked, you know,
Yeah.
and how to get off for liberty.
I got to meet Dick Cole. I don't know if you know who he is, but
Yeah.
he was one of the Doolittle Raiders. He
Yep.
was actually Jimmy Doolittle's co-pilot.
Okay.
He's still alive. I think he's 103 right now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he took off from that Hornet aircraft
yeah,
carrier. I think.
right, okay, yeah. And anyway, now when you leave here, if you go down the staircase, you know that black. It looks black. It's a real dark blue, but it looks like a black Phantom II down there on the end.
Yeah, yeah.
You look on this side of it, or the bow side.
Uh-huh.
It shows Captain Royce Williams. Well, in 1952, he flew over North Korea and shot down 4 MiGs in about 25 minutes, and he couldn't tell anybody about it for over 50 years. It was top secret, and so he was married to his wife for over 50 years before he even told her about it.
But he obviously put it on the confirmed reports, right?
Right. Oh yeah, it was confirmed that he shot him down.
The Korean War never officially ended, so
Yeah,
it's still an ongoing conflict.
Right,
yeah.
but it took 50 years.
I think I met that guy, and he finally got his ace. He got his ace stars. He got 5 kills, and
Yeah,
after many years, they have to go back to the books.
right,
and
because
use
they
the word
they weren't allowing him the first 4. He shot down 7 total, actually.
Yeah.
And anyway, Royce Williams' name is out there, but if you go to the internet and go Royce Williams, Navy Captain, Korean War, there's Hollywood made a 17-minute spiel on it. It's a reenactment, but his plane was so shot up when he landed on, and I don't know what aircraft carrier I heard, but I don't want to say the wrong one, but some aircraft carrier, they're supposed to come in at a top speed of 100 knots. He had to come in at 200 knots because his engines were shot up so bad his engines didn't work. The only thing that worked was his afterburners. And in order to keep control of the plane, he had to be going at least 200 knots.
Yeah,
So
wow.
he landed on that plane at 200 knots, and the cables caught him. and got him out, and then they looked over the plane. He had 263 bullet holes in his plane. So,
Oh my gosh.
you know, and
it
they,
still stayed. Wow.
and he still got back, you know, but when they looked at it, they said it was unrepairable, and they pushed it off on the side in the sea. It was totaled out.
That's something.
So,
Yeah.
and he talked to us. We have continuing education on here. He talked to all us docents in February.
Okay.
We have it's called continuing education, but you know,
Yeah.
this month we talked about the Japanese internment. We have a guy that was a history professor at a college, and he's talking about the internment of the Japanese during World War II. And
Oh, during in California here, where they had the camps.
yeah,
set up
well,
for them?
actually,
Yeah.
California and Canada and
yeah?
and Mexico, all three had intern camps for.
Yeah, that was.
Everybody was afraid that after Pearl Harbor was bombed, that the Japanese were just going to come over and take over the western half of the
I
U.S.
remember, I think Roosevelt himself said, it's not legal that we're doing this, but it's a military necessity. Or he said it's not constitutionally, but it's a military
necessity, yes.
So,
Yep.
yeah. Sad things have to happen in times of desperation. All right, well, thank you for talking to me,
Okay.
and thank you for having
Well, thank
served.
you. Where
Thank
are
for-
you? Are you from the local end? Or?
No, I'm from Chicago. I
Oh,
travel and I
Chicago,
go
okay.
looking at all these cool museums and stuff like that,
Okay.
and put it on my
Well,
YouTube
Chicago
channel, so.
has the top 4 museums in the United States. The Chicago River, architectural river deal, that's number 1 in the United
I've seen
States.
that,
And Statue of Liberty, I think, is number 2. That and
Well, that's in New York.
Ellis
but,
Island,
yeah.
New York, and number 3 is where the Twin Towers used to be, but that's number 3. So number 1's in Chicago, 2 and 3 are in New York, and number 4 you're on right now. It's Midway is the number 4 visited
This is
attraction.
my favorite because you get to see a little of everything. You know, you get to see a ship, you get to see a bunch of airplanes. You get to have
Have
an
you
awesome
seen
view.
the 15-minute Midway movie? It shows
No.
what happened in Midway. It's
yeah?
up on the front.
I seen that where you go through the porthole or whatever. And
It's on the front. It's on the front of the ship.
I didn't go inside of it, but I saw it though. Yeah.
Yeah, and every half hour, on the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour, they give and they have holograms stand out there. They're actual World War II vets that talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Our grandkids loved it. I have 3 grandkids,
Oh, yeah?
10, 8, and 6, and they went to it. And they were wondering if their folks could get something that could have them standing around when they're really not there.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again. Have a good day.
Okay, you too now. Welcome, folks.
Paperwork here. Flight ops are about to start. I hope you'll think about the extraordinary dedication of my crew as you continue your tour. They make Midway magic every day. Thanks for coming aboard.
It's like you just talks it.
No. You just gotta every once in a while.
Yeah.
Is it lifelike?
Yeah, it is.
This is one of those people that like dress up like they're statues and have makeup. That'd be a fun job, kind of.
Big potatoes.
Not a fun job, but you could totally scare people.
Oh, that would be so fun. Like, physical and face on it. That's what I was thinking.
They say burger.
Yeah.